Okay, so we've seen the global services, but how do we have a global application? Well, let's discuss architecture a little bit. So if we have a single region, single AZ, it's very simple. We have an EC2 instance in one AZ in one region. That does not give us high availability, for sure. This does not give us good global latency, because if we access this EC2 instance from a user that's very, very far away from a region, he's going to get bad latency. And it's very, very simple to set up. So very, very low difficulty. Next, we have a single region multi-AZ. So here we have two AZs within one region. So we do have high availability, but we do not have improvements for global latency. So again, the AZs are close to each other. And so if we take a point in the world that's far away from my AZs, then we're going to have high latency. And the difficulty is a little bit increased, but not that much. Next, we have a multi-region called active-passive. And remember that term. So active-passive means that we have two regions. Each region has one or multiple AZ. And in one region, our EC2 instances are going to be active, or our application is going to be active. That means that our users, wherever they are in the world, can do reads and writes to our EC2 instance in the active region. And the other one, EC2 instance, is passive. That means that there is data replication between the active region and the passive region. And possibly the users can do reads from the passive region, but they cannot do writes to the passive region. That's why it's called passive, active, passive. And so with active, passive, well, if we have many regions around the world and they're all passive, that means that we are going to have improved read latency, because now we have our data replicated across the world and with low latency. But for writes, well, all the writes still need to go to the same central region. So that means that the writes at a global level still have high latency. And finally, well, it's definitely increased difficulty because now we have multiple regions. So that's active, passive. And finally, we have active, active. And so this is where each EC2 instance is able to take writes and reads. And there is replication still happening within the EC2 instances. So this improves the read latency, the write latency at a global level, obviously. And it's higher difficulty because now your application has to do a lot of things in every single region and is more difficult to set up. But for example, a database that is having an active-active type of setup is DynamoDB global tables, as we've seen before. Okay, so if you remember just what these means, active-active, active-passive, multi-region, single region, you should be good to go for the exam to answer one question. All right, that's it. I will see you in the next lecture.